Welcome to On Point Live with the stars of our show, Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo. I'm Michael Horn, along with our producer Corey Marino, and Brother Duval is in studio with us today, and we'll be singing some tributes to him. Jackie Slater will be leading us in some songs.
Too bad we're not on that plane.
Not Brother Duval love.
To Brother Duval love. All right, we got a big show today. We got a lot of people making a lot of money here, and guys that didn't make enough money for as talented as they were number 15, Vince Ferragamo, the great quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams, Green Bay, played also for Buffalo, Green Bay. A lot of people liked him in Green Bay. Yeah. They liked him in Buffalo, too. And Jackie Slater, number 78, the offensive lineman, and he played 20 seasons for the Rams. They called him the Energizer Bunny, and we're glad to have you guys on the show. Welcome to the broadcast, gentlemen.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
Michael.
Thank
you for that introduction.
Yeah, it was a great introduction. He's getting better and better with the introductions. Maybe we should let him stay at home on the sofa instead of coming in the studio.
He should be here in person. Now we're going to get him back here.
I know I want him back.
But going to rope him in.
He does a great job with the introductions, don't
he? Yeah.
I can do it any place, anywhere.
Anytime, Mike.
Man.
Anytime.
Well, we had a good weekend this weekend, Michael. Yeah, watching basketball. Oh, yeah, and then we just
basketball first.
And then
playoff round, huh?
Right, and Saturday morning, we had the football clinic, Jackie, the instructional clinic with the young kids, and they're learning the proper techniques and the proper way to play the game.
Yeah, this was not one of my better weeks. I'll be honest with you. I was saddened by the loss of Garret Anderson, a friend of mine.
Boy.
Just an outstanding person, and I know his family and all, and just the impact of us losing him just put a damper on the week for me.
Yeah.
One of the all-time greats, Garret Anderson, played many years for the Los Angeles and California Angels, played for the Dodgers, played for Atlanta. Where else did he play, Jackie?
He played with just those
15
teams.
years in L.A.
All of his time, most of his time with the Angels, and then
all the
1 year with
records.
the Dodgers and 1 year with the Braves, I think it was.
Great broadcaster as well. We'll pay a little tribute to him coming up in our next break. I love Garret Anderson, and he will be missed, I'll tell you. We're brought to you by our good people here at HarmonyCheese.com. Get yourself some great cheese. Mention CRN, get 10% off your order. We'll tell you more when we come back on Point Live. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, along with producer Corey Marino, and the stars of our show, Jackie Slater, number 78, and number 15, Vince Ferragamo. And gentlemen, we lost a great person in sports, especially in the Southern California area, the Atlanta area. I'm telling you, this guy was one of the greats. Yeah. We're talking about Garret Anderson, and we had him on the show recently, and what a class act, Jackie. This man was class all the way.
There's no doubt about it. Garret was a friend of mine. I met him years and years ago when the Rams were just about to finish playing down in Anaheim, and the Angels were coming in and taking over the ballpark, and we were about to go back to St. Louis, and he was just a youngster breaking into the pro ranks, and just what an outstanding athlete he was to play the game of baseball. He was a three-sports star in high school, and just could do whatever he wanted practically. And for him to have chose baseball, he must have had a passion for events. And when you think about it, he has all of the records, all of the major records in Angel baseball history. Garret Anderson on it, and he's just going to be missed. He had a beautiful family, Vince, his wife Teresa and his 3 kids, just his youngest one Trey, his son, beautiful family. Just going to be missed, man. I don't have any words to say, because
it's tough to put it into words.
It really is.
Not only for the Angels, he came back and played for the Dodgers and stirred it up with the Dodgers for a while, and then played with the Braves.
Right.
This man gave it his all, and was what I call a smart player. He was able to look, see what kind of pitch was going to be coming, and use that to his advantage. And there's not a lot of smart players in there that can kind of sense what's coming, and he was one of those guys.
Everything that would be done,
He will leave an indelible impression on all of us
Yeah.
fans here because of his style of play, his talents that he had, Jackie, his stoic personality. Just nothing bothered him. He was humble. I mean, he was a professional in every way, in every aspect of the game.
He really
and
was.
and this is what made him so classy, Mike. And just a competitor would compete to the last out of the game. And you know, he led the Angels to a world championship, and like
Yes.
Jackie said, all the records he holds with his team. But more importantly, was his personality, Mike. He was so likable. He was a great guy, and it is a sorrowful day here for the fans, for the Angel fans, for sure.
Yeah, his memory
Yeah.
will live on because
Yeah.
the great baseball player with the Dodgers, Vince, was growing up.
Oh, Freddie Freeman,
Yeah.
he was his idol.
Absolutely. He was growing up as a young man at El Medina High School out in Orange, California, watching Garret Anderson, and he wanted to be just like him, and I'll be doggone if he's not trying to duplicate some of those things.
That's
Right? So
great.
he was a great model for a lot
He's
of
shining down on him, that's for sure.
young baseball players.
And I'll tell you, one heck of an announcer too. He
Yeah.
jumped into the broadcast booth, and sometimes when you get a guy that goes in the broadcast booth that played for so many years, it's okay. He's a star on the team or whatever. But Garret brought a lot of insight into the game, into that broadcast booth.
I felt that. I felt the same way, Mike, and I encouraged him to continue to do it. And you know, he decided at the end there that he wasn't going to do it. And I was just texting him about that the Saturday before he passed, and he was letting me know that he wasn't going to be doing it anymore. But he was just special, man. He knew the game of baseball. He loved the game of baseball. He could talk about it, and he saw the little details of things that were going right and things that were going wrong.
And wasn't he a delight to have on the show
Yeah.
too, Jackie?
Yes,
he just shed
he
so
was
much
when we had him on the
insight.
show. He gave us a lot of insight,
I mean,
didn't he?
he really
How
did.
pleasant he was, man. He
It was
and patient
awesome.
with us.
I hope he
novice.
enjoyed our wine and our cheese
Yeah,
that we
I
sent
do
him
too.
because,
I'm sure he did.
yeah,
he did.
it was
Great
great.
guy.
Great-
his
great
wife,
to know him.
And his wife Teresa is just an absolute sweetheart. She's done a fantastic job
Thoughts
as a
and prayers go out to
as a
Teresa and the
homemaker
family.
and raising their three kids. She's just a beautiful person, and my heart just really goes out.
Never
to them
be
at this
forgotten,
time.
that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Jackie, one final thought. You said at an early age he was washing his own clothes, getting things squared away at home when he was a young kid. Am I right?
He did a lot. He shared with me about his upbringing and how it led to his sports involvement.
At his
and,
chores.
and his chores and he talked a lot about his his responsibilities and it made me feel like my situation may not have been all that so bad after all. Some of the things I had to do as a young person growing up, but he absolutely loved his family and respected everybody in his life that had given him guidance along the way, and he was just an honorable human being that respected people around him and loved those that that loved him and tried to love him better.
Garret Anderson, he will be missed. Let's take a look now, guys, at free agency and signing some picks. And I guess we should start with Fernando Mendoza. What you got on that, Vince?
Well, that's a name that comes to mind, Michael, because he'll be the number one draft
Yes.
pick in the NFL by the Las Vegas Raiders. They will definitely go for the quarterback, Jackie, because that's what they build their franchise around. And they've drafted, or they traded for Kirk Cousins, and they also have, the coach there to lead them. And I think Kubiak, they're on the right direction. And this kid will not become a starter immediately, Jackie, but he will learn and he will be progressive. But I love what he's got to offer.
I can appreciate all of that, Vince, that you just said, and believe me, you know how much I respect you and your opinion about quarterbacks and everything, and it's been really interesting, to see how you followed this guy and detailed some of the really quality human being aspects of this guy, who he is as a human. And one of those indicators has, as you have expressed to me, is the mere fact that he's possibly going to be the #1 pick in the draft, and he has chosen to bypass going to Pittsburgh and taking in all of that glory and glamour to be at home with his mom, who's not well, and all of his family who have meant so much and contributed so much to his success up until this point. Now, that's an admirable trait, and I really do appreciate that. You hit the nail right on the head with that one. But this is a question that I have to ask you. I want to ask Corey this question. I want everybody on this associated with this broadcast to help me to understand. Now, is he, I love the guy as a personality, but is he the best quarterback in this year's draft? And the reason why I ask you that question is because this is what I know. When you stepped in and led us to the quarterback, there were a lot of things that I didn't feel that you knew. But there was something about you, along with your arm, that brought that special magic to the table. And then we were able to be successful with you. We were a veteran football team, I felt. When you look at Mendoza,
Vince.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
When you look at Mendoza and the run that he had at the Indiana Hoosiers, you know that team averaged 24 years of age? That's 2 years beyond college and into the pros.
23 years.
He was surrounded by a bunch of professional football quality players, age-wise. And I know age makes a difference on a college football team. Now, because he was successful in that environment, do we want to conclude that he is the first quarterback in the draft?
Jackie, it boils down to intangible traits that quarterbacks offer. And one of those is his leadership ability, his kindness, his rapport with players.
How hard is it for a young guy like that to lead men that are 2 and 3 years older than him?
Well, it won't happen. It won't happen immediately, Jackie. But over the long term, this is the genuine ability of this kid that he's got. Family-oriented body. He's got the basic foundation to build on. He's got great accuracy as a thrower, great understanding of the game, great competitiveness. He's got size. He's got a little ability. He can move if he has to. He's got all the intangible traits that make him the decisive factor and why he should be the #1 player picked.
All right,
So
that's a
we
good enough
presume,
argument. I'll put up with
he's
that. I'll take that.
That's what I got to say.
He's projected as going to be the Raiders' top pick.
Yeah.
And the first pick, Fernando Mendoza, I presume #1, he's expected to become a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. They need some help. And here's a way to start it out and really make things go, especially if he's got some good backup to give him a little leadership. We'll talk about that a little bit when we come back. We're brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com. Get your best cheeses at HarmonyCheese.com. It's On Point Live. Welcome back to On Point Live, brought to you by the greatest cheese in the United States, maybe the world.
You can say that again.
I'm telling you. HarmonyCheese.com. That is the website you want to go to.
And don't forget, ask for Miss Bree.
Yeah, that's
Ask for
Yes.
Miss Bree. She will hook you up.
Harmony, HARMONY, cheese, CHEESE.com. You mentioned CRN Talk on your first order, you get 10% off that order. Our email, let us know what you think about the cheese, and let us know if you got questions for our show. Go to onpoint@crntalk.com, onpoint@crntalk.com. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater here. I'm Michael Horn. We got Corey Marino, our producer. Don't forget our Instagram, on.point.live. So, this the signing here to get this player going here, the Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
Who's going to be training him, so to speak? Who's he going to be watching on the Raiders?
Well, they've already traded for Kirk Cousins, okay, and then
They've already
Clint Kubiak.
signed him.
Well, they've already signed him as well, so he's on the team. So that's the veteran quarterback that's going to expose him to the necessities of how you play the game, okay? And there's a lot that goes into the development of a quarterback, Michael. So I think Kurt Kubiak will be a big addition for that team as well, because he understands offense, he understands quarterbacking, he knows the system, how to play call, and as was evident in last year's Super Bowl. So, and what he did with Sam Darnold, but he had a run-in with Kirk Cousins when he was in Minnesota. So there's some familiarity, which is important. So I think what we're going to look forward to is this development of this young quarterback, and I think at some point during this coming season, I think we'll see some action from him, and you'll see what he's got to offer, and it'll be pretty much.
Well, there's no doubt about it.
Quite
in my mind, Vince, that young man is going to be in a clinic on a daily basis from a player's perspective and from a play caller's perspective. He is going to learn a lot of information in a short period of time.
And Jackie, you need to wrap players around him as well, as we've seen. We've seen at the college level, we've seen at the pro level. We saw what Tom Brady was able to do, how he molded the team. Took cuts in pay, all right, so he can spread the wealth to the team, so he can build better talent around him. That's what Kurt Kubiak is out to do.
Right.
All right, so Vince, when you came onto the scene, you had it was like a pick of quarterbacks. You had Pat Hayden there. I think you had Joe Namath there.
Yeah.
You had a few people there.
Ron
What was that
Jaworski.
like?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ron Jaworski, the
Right.
Polish rifle. So, who did you learn from, and how did you fit in and learn from the people?
Well, observations is the best key to learning, Mike. You have to stand back, you have to watch, and you can't go to sleep. You got to be aware. You have to be mentally sharp in what you're learning, because you have to digest this information that comes very fast to you. You have to learn your personnel, become a team player, and just share everything you've got, and they share it with you. And so Joe Namath was a great experience for me, from his leadership ability, how he carried himself. Pat Hayden with the way he conducted himself on and off the field. And those were big impressions on me, and so you have to learn from that. And then, of course, we had great coaching. Jackie mentioned we brought over Lionel Taylor, who's passed on, but he was a great instrumental help to our receiving core. We had Bud Carson on defense. We had Radakovich on the offensive line. I learned a lot about the ability of your line and how they protect the quarterback and how important this is in the whole scheme of things. And it's a lot to learn, but coaching makes a big difference. It has a big influence.
Makes a huge difference. Those three guys, the names he just mentioned, all the three of those guys, Lionel Taylor, Bud Carson, and Dan Radakovich, came directly from the Pittsburgh Steelers off of a Super Bowl, and the Rams went directly to the Super Bowl. And I like to attribute it to much of the knowledge that they brought. It's amazing to me how the quality of coaching that you get makes a big difference in the individual performance as well as the team and how they play. It's amazing.
Now, they've also got an owner there, Tom Brady, a minority owner, and he's got to be able to bring some help in there to talk to some of these players.
Oh, there's no doubt.
He's got a lot of experience.
Wait a minute.
He did it to Tampa Bay when he went there, didn't he, Jack?
First of all, Tom Brady, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the history of the National Football League, and that's and I got a lot of respect for this man sitting next to me right here for what he was able to get done with the Rams. But Tom Brady, I don't think anybody would disagree that this guy is the best of all times, and any kind of contact that this young Mendoza has to come in contact with Tom Brady, I don't care if it's for 15 minutes. He better have a notepad with him, because it is going to be a major opportunity for him to learn.
Don't you think he's going to shed some information? He's going to
shed
a lot of information
I'm sure he will,
to him.
relative to however it is he's limited with his new broadcasting work and all of that. I don't know the details of all that, but if I'm Mendoza, if Tom Brady comes within a mile of the facility, I'm going to drive. I'm going to drive out there and see if I can get 5 minutes of his time, because there's nobody in the history of the National Football League that Mendoza can learn from more than a guy like Tom Brady.
Mendoza says he's going to pour into Kirk Cousins and get the advice that he can get, which I think is the way you got to kind of do it. How much money, by the way, Kirk Cousins is, if we take a look here,
second highest paid career earner in the NFL, Michael.
In NFL history.
In NFL history, ring up the cash register. Go ahead.
I think How many games did he win?
He won
games?
one playoff game,
He won-
Jack. He's
he
been in
won-
3 playoff
He
games.
won one playoff game,
And Tom Brady won 35.
and Tom
Made
Brady
more
won
than Tom
35 and won 7 Super Bowls, and he made more money
Yes.
than Tom Brady over
well.
the term of his career. And
You know-
he is the still.
Well, they're throwing a lot of money around, Jack, in the NFL right now.
They
you know?
are.
it's-
It's
how about-
a lot of money.
But it's
How about Brandon Aubrey, the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yes.
It's
Okay, he makes more than
he's
Jacoby
been
Brissett, a
productive.
starting quarterback in the NFL. He's making $7 million.
He's been
But
productive, though,
he is
Vince.
fantastic.
I
He's
mean,
the best kicker.
The guy has kicked how
Yeah.
many 60-yard field goals?
Yes.
That is not easy.
Yeah.
You know,
It almost broke the. He had the
if-
record broken at 65 yards until Jason Tucker kicked a 66-yarder.
Yeah, from the
So
Ravens.
it's the longest field goal in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, it is amazing. And we played with Tom Dempsey, the overweight. He was big guy, had a nub, had half a foot. He was
Yeah.
basically kicking with his ankle because half of his foot was deformed and everything. And he was a straight line traditional kicker, and we thought he was the best in the world. But this guy is just so consistent. Events he just doesn't miss, and you got to pay guys.
But
I mean, there's
Jackie-
points on the board. You
But
got to pay
don't-
them.
Don't you marvel at some of these prices they're paying these guys today, though? And I look
Yeah.
back at what they're paying. They throw millions around like it's pennies, Mike. And I look back at some of the former players that have made the league what it is today. And starting in 1995 and beyond, there's almost 15 to 20% of former athletes have fallen on bad times and have filed for BK, for bankruptcy. That's not even to say what happened to the guys before 1995. And yet the cost of living is just not keeping pace with the former players. And I hope maybe some of our fans out there could give us some reflection or give us some advice as to how to approach that. I mean, there's something just needs to be done with this thing, Jackie, because it's really out of hand.
Well, we represent a unique community, and quite frankly, Vince, I can tell you that a lot of people in society who didn't make the millions or the hundreds of thousands of what a lot of athletes made, they aren't very sympathetic to seeing a man go and over a 2 or 3 year period of time make $2 or $3 million. That is, and then so if you go and throw that away, then they don't have much sympathy for you. But the reality of it all is a lot of these young guys that are having the opportunity today to make the money that they're making. They're making the money on the backs of the men that we made it on the backs of, and with our collective bargaining, all the time. I was nominated to be the Rams player rep for a number of years, and I turned that down because I wanted to focus on playing football. I didn't want anything other to distract me. And over the years, I saw how perhaps I should have taken that job, and perhaps how I should have been a guy to speak up for the guys who had gone ahead of me, because the guys who had played ahead of me, it was almost as if people were waiting on them to die off, and so they could get around. I hate to say it that way,
but
so they can get, so they can just deal with the current generation. But I don't think that's fair. I always stood for the reality, for the point that our union leadership made was we were supposed to be about players past, present, and future. Past, present, and future. And it really hit me once when my contract was up and I went in to talk to a person that was in charge of negotiations at the Rams, and he said to me, he said, Jackie, he said, don't come in here looking for no raise. Talking about no big raise on the contract. He said, because we can get any overweight taxi cab driver
Oh,
to do
come
your
on.
job. That's exactly what the man
Give me a break.
no, they couldn't. No, they could not.
That's exactly what the man told me. And then when I think about the young offensive tackles that are playing today, particularly the one up there in San Francisco who has made Trent
Williams,
who has made somewhere
over $200 million,
Oh,
Jackie, in his
unbelievable.
career.
an offensive left tackle that's made over $200 million. I think to myself, how would you like to sit in front of the man that told me?
Guess what he owns, Jackie?
Anybody-
He has a Gulfstream 4 jet.
Come on.
Your jet,
Yeah,
Michael.
and you know what, Vince?
And the guys on the team say, hey, can I borrow your jet? Can I borrow your jet?
Yeah, but Vince, the interesting thing about that is a lot of people who are listening to our show, they might not believe this because they only equate all this money going to quarterbacks and running backs and whatever.
it's being spread
see-
around.
See, this says a lot about the value of the offensive line. right there says a lot about the value, in particular the left tackle. That guy is responsible for keeping these quarterbacks, Mendoza's and all the rest of
That's
them,
right.
Montana and all the rest of them upright. And if you're not doing his job, you're not going to have a successful
One of the
team.
toughest positions to maintain, Mike, on a football team is the offensive tackle.
No doubt about it.
trying to
Offensive
find the right
tackle is
one.
right. All right, we'll take a break, come back with more. It's On Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. We're here every week at this time. I'll tell you about our podcast when we come back. Stay with us. Your attention, please. All new uniforms, including retro uniforms for Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo. Only $10,000 to make up some of the difference for our plane. We'll come back with more on that.
Yeah.
Very beautiful, though. Good stuff. Welcome back to the show. I'm Michael Horn. Want to remind you, this program, On Point Live, gets right into what's going on. I'm hearing you guys talk about all this information about money, signings, all that kind of stuff. Want to remind you, our website is onpointlive.net. We want you to subscribe to our On Point Live YouTube channel, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Our Instagram is on.point.live. And our sponsor is harmonycheese.com. Now, when you go to check out, after getting your Harmony cheese, and you might as well get some going for springtime here. If you're a first-time order, you mention CRN Talk. And that stands for the Cheese Radio Network, by the way. I had it confused and said championship. It's actually the Cheese Radio Network. You get 10% off your order. So you can't forget that, crntalk.com. And I want you to email us once you get the Harmony cheese. It is delicious. Go to onpoint@crntalk.com. Vince Ferragamo, your favorite cheese this week, what is it?
Oh, the Merlot cheddar. I have to.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that too.
Merlot cheddar.
Jackie, how about
Six-pepper
you?
cheddar.
Six pepper cheddar is good.
I'm liking it this week because I've been having some hurried mornings, and I just like to put it on some toast.
You like
toast
the
it up.
Abergelli, though.
I still like the Abergelli, but the six-pepper cheddar in the morning.
He likes the
kinda-
pepper.
you like-
it
Gets
makes
you-
me
pumps
feel.
you up.
It makes me feel like I've eaten something. You know, my mouth
Yeah.
is
How
about
burning.
on
I
the
got a lot
eggs?
It stimulates
Put it
a
on the
lot
eggs,
of
like
lot
in
of
an
sensation.
omelet. What about an omelet?
I've done that too. I've done that too.
You got to
but
grate
I-
it to put it in the
Oh my goodness!
Corey, how about you?
I just melted over there. I don't have to.
What's your
grate.
favorite cheese?
Mine's going to be the Abergelli for sure.
The Abergelli.
Yeah, Abergelli is good
See, the
also.
Abergelli is everybody likes
Go
the
check it
Abergelli.
out on the website, onpoint@crntalk.com. By the way, if you're in an area where you don't find Harmony cheese, email us so we can get it into some of the stores there in your area. It is delicious cheese. It is the very best. Happy cows, happy sheep, happy fans that come in and eat the cheese.
So, Mike, they have a distribution plant, on the West Coast now.
They do.
Yes. So from
When did we
Green
do
Bay to
that?
the West Coast. Oh, we know Jerry. He's told us about this. So
Well,
now
that's
they can
good.
distribute
Jer-
the cheeses out here pretty regularly now.
We've got to get it into the farmers market.
Man.
Yeah, we got a farmer's
of the
market in Los
Albertsons,
Angeles.
Yeah,
Ralph's.
some of the cheeses that they have there just aren't
Let's
very
go down there and kind of put a push in to get it into the farmer's market.
It's good cheese.
It's
They're
good
missing out.
stuff. All right, so check it out at harmonycheese.com, HARMONY cheese.com. Don't forget our email address, onpoint@crntalk.com. Now, what I'm worried about is, all these signings, what's happening to the fan base? How much are we going to be charged for a hot dog? How much are we going to be charged for anything when
How
we
about
go
a
to the game?
seat to go watch
Yeah.
the game?
Thank you, Vince. I'll stand, sir.
I don't know where you're going with that, Mike.
You could come in here and stand.
room only.
Mike, are you
20
are you asking that question based on the fact that you see the player salaries going up, or is there
Yes.
some other? Well, I
No.
mean, first of all,
Well,
first
so
of
are
all,
the TV
okay,
revenues are
first
going
of all,
up, too.
first of all, the split of the gate receipts is like 60-40 for the home team. Home team gets 60%, the visiting team gets 40%. That's gate receipts. Now, all other monies that are earned in the National Football League via the television packages, the radio packages, and all of that, that money is shared
Equally, right?
It is negotiated between the union and owners. So the owners are, they've been struggling here trying to keep these numbers down. As these numbers
Struggling.
grow, the players are getting a bigger portion of it. Now, the problem that Vince and I and a lot of the guys from our community have with that, the players getting a bigger piece of it, is they're not looking back. They're forgetting what our union has stood for years, and that is for
Past,
players
present,
past, present, and future. But we're not jealous. We're not envious.
I'm not.
We're happy to see the guys get the money and
Right.
proud,
I know
actually. I'm
I don't know
quite
what
proud.
you're looking at.
right.
I'm jealous. I'm telling you, when I was a kid, there was
I'm not
pass,
jealous.
punt,
I'm not jealous.
and throw.
I'm not
So
jealous
here's the
because
thing.
Mike, there's not too many of them going to play 20 years.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
when I see when I see a guy that's going to play 20 years making over $200 million, then I'm proud of that. I'm happy to that, especially when he plays my position. So more power to him. But now what he's going to have to remember, and it won't have to concern him quite as much, but what many of the guys are going to have to remember is that one of these days they're going to be just like Vince and I.
That's it.
They're going to be older guys outside of the
Yes.
game, and they're going to have to take care of themselves by taking care of guys that have gone ahead of them. That's the way
But
it should
Jackie,
work.
People
You're
people still
not
recognizing you, Jackie, when you walk in.
Well,
how about when you walk in the grocery store?
Well,
Hey,
come
is that
on.
Jackie Slater?
Well,
Jackie Slater.
not quite as much. You see, I've got
Jackie hired
Is that
me.
great?
I got a head full of gray hair over here. Ever
Jackie
since,
is a-
since Matthew said to me, he said, "Dad, how many 65-year-old man do you know that's got a head full of jet black hair?"
I
you say
followed
Jim
Jackie in.
Jim Hill.
Well, Matthew said that. Well, Jim
Yeah,
Hill.
Jim Hill.
Jim Hill. He doesn't have no-
Jim Hill had
Jim
age to
Hill
be-
hired
No.
me.
Jim Hill
and,
has an age to be.
and Jackie hired me. And what I do is follow Jackie in, and as soon as he's in the store, I'll saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the store and shopping, Jackie Slater, number 78, with some good grocery tips for you. Tomorrow, Vince Ferragamo will be here." I just think that's a good deal. Here's the thing. I think you guys have enough knowledge that you should put together a group, a knowledge, to really get information out to the young players here. You guys are rich with it from playing for all those years that I think your careers are not over, maybe on the field, but you got to talk to these young guys and get them to see how to stay in the game longer while performing well. What do you think?
Well, Jackie's got a secret, Mike. He
What's
doesn't let many people know about it, but he's a private coach. And the guys that he works with, you will never know who they are, but just look around the league and you see these offensive linemen who are really excelling and getting huge contracts. Guess who they work out with?
Jackie.
Yeah.
Secret.
Yeah, that's it.
We advertise it
but
on the show here.
don't reveal that, okay?
We advertise it on the show here.
Yeah, I know,
Vince.
Mike,
Yeah.
and
And
I
by the way,
appreciate that. And I
if
appreciate
you want
that, but-
great wine, Vince Ferragamo is your one stop for
Come to
great
the Vines and Wines
reds
class, all right?
and
Santiago
whites.
Canyon College.
Yeah, let's
There
get
you
a
go.
wine class
We
going.
got-
That
we
can be
have
fun
one
on the
going
weekend.
on.
Yeah, he's got that
It's
out
in the
of
fall. It's in the fall.
Santiago College.
Yeah.
Santiago College.
And you pair that with the Harmony cheese. We'll get Jerry and Bree to come out and put together a cheese tasting, and we'll promote it
That'd be
and get
good.
people to come in and sit around table, and we'll cut some cheese and taste it. It'll be delicious and have some fun.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going
I
to be
think
doing
it
some
is.
wine dinners too, Mike. You'll have to come out. Jackie's been to a couple. We're going to do some nice restaurants in Orange County and San Diego, and get around and bring
How
some
about
wine.
Columbo's?
That would be
Columbo's
awesome.
Family
Yeah, it would
Steakhouse
in Las
in
Vegas.
Eagle Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, Eagle
What's the
Rock.
name of the steakhouse?
Columbo's. It's a
Yes,
great
that's
Italian
Yeah, we've
restaurant.
been talking about this for a
Okay,
year
let's
now.
do
haven't we?
it.
And then also the Bootlegger,
That's
another
the one.
Italian
There you
restaurant
go.
in Las Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah,
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
We
Yeah.
need to do that.
So let's get that going. Okay, so that's what I see. There's a way to go ahead and help out young players at the same time, keeping the old cash flow going is what I'm thinking. So let's look ahead a little bit here today. We got some uniforms, and let me tell you,
yeah.
if you bring Fred Dreyer on this show, he will go absolutely ape nuts when he hears that the Rams have gotten rid of a classic uniform. And what color is this uniform, by the way?
It's
Well,
gold and blue, isn't it?
It's
Jack?
gold and blue, but some of the things that, for example, on the LA is going to be all gold now instead of a gradient where it kind of went from a lighter colored gold to a blue and faded. And then another part of their logo is, which is going to be interesting when you look at the ram's head. The ram's head now has an eye. You see, he has an eye right there for the
That's
ram.
good. That's good.
Can you see that? And then also look at that. You see how it kind of curves with that yellow horn part wrapping inside of the L there. Well, now it's going to kind of be a dark blue, and it's trimmed in that same white. It's still pretty much the same, but it's just the colors that makes that LA kind of pop a little bit more, in my opinion.
It's a uniform refresh, they're calling it. And the Rams say they're moving to a cleaner, simpler uniform identity. Nothing cleaner than the uniform you guys used to use, for gosh sakes.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
retro.
That's true. I thought we had a really good uniform, and they went through they went through some changes shortly after we retired that I did not care for, but they're starting to come back. I think they're going to have an all white uniform, aren't they, Corey?
Yeah.
They're going to have an all-white uniform, and I always thought that would have been a great idea. So, to me, I think what you need to do is you need to keep popping these uniforms.
Yes.
I didn't agree with this at first because I was comfortable for 20 years wearing the same doggone uniform. But, I mean, for fans, they like collecting the different jerseys and they like collecting the different things. And so I can understand this, Vince, from a fan standpoint because they want to buy the new jerseys and they want to be with the in crowd relatively.
The
They got
colors
rid of
don't
the
go out of
bone
style.
now.
The colors
The
don't go out
bone
of
Yeah,
style.
but it's the
Yeah,
patterns,
removed.
It's something as simple as this.
They want the modern look, I guess.
An eyeball,
redo.
an eyeball on the ram there. I mean, just something as simple as that makes it different.
I think, can we get some of these uniforms and turn around and sell them here on the show, have you autograph them?
No,
Come on.
I don't think we can do that.
We'll
I'm
donate
helping
it
us
to
out
charity.
here.
How's that?
I don't
That's it.
think
That's
we're
it.
allowed
that's
to.
good.
I wish
for
the Rams
charity.
would do more of that.
I
That
don't
would be
think
good.
we're
Yeah, me
allowed
too.
to do such as that.
Yeah.
Every week we could have a charity deal. That would be very
that's
good. I
great.
like that. So it's the emphasis now on solid colors and chopper, modern branding. I do like these better than the last the groups that they have. You also, Vince, and you, Jackie Slater, think the same thing?
I mean, throwback jerseys are fine with me, Michael. So it really doesn't matter. I guess if you want to promote your sales part of it, I think that's maybe something that's kind of been instructional, and that's why they're doing it. But we'll see what happens.
Personally, I could care less. But what I have noticed is that my kids and my wife, they enjoyed, buying a different jersey with a different little twist to it, and
There you go.
they never.
And my daughter
complained.
Kara would love it.
Yeah, Kara.
She
She
buys stuff all the
it's
time.
just a little something new and it's a little something different. And
Yeah,
what
there
do
you
you
go.
say? Yeah, sure. The team is going to make money, off the new products and everything. But I think it adds a little refreshment to the fan base. To be honest with you.
And some cash.
Some cash,
good.
Mike. Did you say some cash? Yeah,
A little cash,
definitely
yeah.
some cash.
So anyway, major uniform changes. When are when are these out? Are they out now?
They're out now. They can be sold soon, right after the draft, and then they'll be worn this season.
Corey Marino, ladies and gentlemen, our uniform expert here on the show.
You got to go
How
out.
often did they change uniforms when you guys played?
They never changed.
They
it
never
for us.
change uniform.
No.
But listen, man, there's a whole different mentality with fan base, and I encourage the fans to go out and get those new jerseys, show up and support your team right here in Los Angeles. Got one of the best football teams, one of the best coaches, one
Yes.
of the best run organizations
Yes.
in the league. Support them. Go if it means buying a jersey to show your support. Go buy it.
Best sponsor, HarmonyCheese.com. Let's sell some Harmony cheese with a uniform for them. I think that's good. We get 10% off if you mention CR and Talk when you check out. Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, this show is just flowing by here today. I can't believe it. Number 78 and number 15, Jackie Slater, Vince Ferragamo, will return on Point Live. It comes to you every week. Check out our podcast. Go to wherever you get your favorite podcast and search On Point Live. Real quick, want to remind you, Harmony Cheese is our sponsor. Go check out their website, harmonycheese.com. 10% off when you check out if you mention CRN Talk. And don't forget to email us onpoint@crntalk.com. NBA, gentlemen,
Yes.
what do you think? Vince, Jackie, who do you like?
Well, hey, for the MVP race, SGA looks like he's the front runner, but I also like Victor Wembanyama. He already became the defensive player of the year. So, and then you got Jokic too. So they're all right there, right neck and neck.
Yeah, they're neck and neck, but you got to pick one. You can only have one.
SGA, I'm going to go
And
with
if
SGA.
you look at the numbers all the way across the board, points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, everything, block shots, you got to go with Jokic. There's no
I
no
agree.
doubt about
Jokic
it.
is the guy.
That's the guy.
How about
Well,
you, Corey?
Yeah, I go with Jokic.
SGA's team is unbeatable. I mean,
So
come
it's
on.
good.
I mean, it's all.
With an
it's all
honorable
Nikola
mention to
Jokic
LeBron.
is the best basketball
Honorable
player in
mention
America. You might as well give it up to him.
to LeBron James. Okay.
How about those playoffs?
Yeah, the playoffs are they're really going well, and I think this is a pretty good time of the season here. A lot of people tuning in.
Well, Michael, you know this Nuggets and Timberwolves games, Mike. They go one quarter and just complete flip, reversal, and I think it's because neither team can play that great a defense, and I don't see them advancing much further than after this quarterfinal because the great teams
Play
like
defense.
the
I agree.
Spurs, they have great defense. OKC has great defense. The Celtics, the Cavs. That's my pick for the Final Four, and I think OKC is going to play the Celtics in the finals.
Oh, is that what you think?
That's
Okay,
it,
I got
baby.
the Lakers losing to the Spurs. I just think San Antonio is a better basketball
They're
team right now, and Cleveland and Boston I think going to battle it out right there, and Boston is probably going to end up. So I'm looking for those two teams
Boy,
to
they
meet.
can shoot the threes, Jackie.
Yeah, they can shoot the threes. but
Everybody.
Corey,
they can
what do you
shoot
think?
the threes, but the Spurs got the best basketball players.
Well,
Corey's pick.
I have the same as Vince's. I got OKC beating the Spurs to go to the championship. Then I got the Cavs losing to the Celtics, and then the Celtics losing to OKC. So
Nobody's
repeat for
going with the
SGA.
Lakers. so-
Okay, make sure
I'll
we
take
keep
the
this.
Lakers.
Remember this
Hey,
because a lot of
okay.
guys been backing out on their picks lately. We can't have
All right,
that.
that's our
Once
show.
you make a pick, you can't back out.
Jason Tatum
I'm
is
not.
back for the Celtics. Watch out.
HarmonyCheese.com, our sponsor. Go to their website, order. When you check out, put in CRN Talk. You get 10% off your order. Email us onpoint@crntalk.com. And this show is with you every single week and did our podcast too. As a matter of fact, what do we always say when we do
What do we
this show,
say,
gentlemen?
Jackie?
Stay
Stay
on
on point.